In the 4 years that I've been in the stock market, I have never seen a crazy move like today where all sorts of short squeezes were happening. And I'm here to tell you with a dose of realism, guys. As much as I'm happy for some people that are making thousands and millions of dollars even on these moves in stocks like GameStop and Bed Bath and Beyond, and even smaller and more obscure stocks that are not the most popular, you're seeing crazy moves here today, and I think this is really dangerous. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly why that is and how long this can really continue. So by now you've probably heard all this crazy news about short squeezes and short sellers getting burned, losing billions and billions of dollars on each stock alone, right? With GameStop here today, you see short sellers lost $3 billion. And this is probably the case with dozens of stocks in the stock market. I'm going to show you exactly which ones and how you can find that out. All right, guys, so this is a really interesting resource that I found, highshortinterest.com. And this is a place for you to see exactly which stocks are shorted the most. And you can see here today that it was a broad squeeze. Like every single stock that was heavily shorted, 30% or more, shot up huge today. And pretty much every single one on the list, especially in the morning when the market opened, was up at least 15%, 20%, 30%, 40%. In the case of GameStop, something like 100%, right? And every single one, right? You could see here GameStop 138% shorted. Space, right? Virgin Galactic, AMC, Bed Bath and Beyond, Fizz, National Beverage Corporation, right? Even Fizz was up 13% today, and at the high you could see right here it was like 40% up on no fundamental change, right? Just it's mind-blowing. And I could go through every single one on the list, right? Tanger Factory Outlets was up double digits at one point today before selling off, and that was a huge driver in the market for the moves that you saw in the specific stocks on this list. A lot of them are contentious, and there are certainly a lot of them that are just frankly not good companies either, but saw them going up anyway because at this point I'm pretty sure hedge funds are scared and pissing their pants right now, to be honest. Right, and even here, right, you see rocket companies, RKT, the stock that never moves, right? My 350 shares, I had to take some off the table today just because I just don't feel like this trading action is very healthy. But you could see here that Rocket was pretty highly shorted stock too, around 35% of the shares available. I really think that everyone needs to be very careful here with all this speculation, creating these crazy moves in stocks that have no business being at the stock price and valuation that they are here today. And yes, I'm talking about GameStop. I'm talking about all those different types of companies. They do not remotely deserve a price like that. But nevertheless, because of certain market mechanism we're going to explain here very briefly, is causing all these moves, and that is with short selling. So what essentially short selling is that step one, typically a very large investor or an institution, a fund, they borrow shares of stocks that they expect to go down over time. They borrow it at the market price, let's say $20 for instance. They borrow the shares, they sell it immediately, they collect that money, and then they're gonna wait and bide their time, and they're gonna try to drive the stock price down even more by putting out negative press, by just continually shorting and selling shares. So that drives the general direction of the stock down, because they're shorting millions and millions of shares at a time, and they're aiming to buy back shares at a lower price. So they make a profit with the difference between the price that they borrowed the shares at and the price that they can now buy back and return those shares. The whole problem here is that all these short sellers did not think that the retail investor, the average person, along with thousands and millions of other people, banded together on websites like Reddit and other communities, and basically telling each other to buy the stock to squeeze out all the shorts. And that, obviously destroyed a very well-known short seller. Very ironic picture that Citron decides to use as their logo, which is a lemon. And you can see here that obviously did not work out well because they got squeezed into lemonade. Very nice pun there, but in all truth and honesty and seriousness, I think that as bad and as hated short sellers are, because we have this feeling that people should be encouraging stocks to go up and do well over time, and short sellers are kind of going against the average person that just buys shares. But that's still no excuse for all the harassment and death threats that this guy has been getting. The buck has to stop somewhere, and this whole vicious cycle is perpetuated even further by the fact that a lot of retail investors nowadays are buying call options. And it seems like nowadays, whenever someone you go online or you talk to a friend or something, like, oh yeah, buy options, buy call options, you're gonna make hundreds of percent at a time, don't worry, it's gonna go up. And if all of us buy into this, we all buy options, it's gonna go up. And this is not true, right? At the end of the day, it's gonna stop somewhere. No matter what, at some point, someone's gonna say, I'm not gonna pay $200 a share for GameStop. I'm not gonna pay $500 per share for GameStop. Whatever it is in the end. Someone's gonna look at that and say, I'm just gonna start cashing out. And that's gonna cause a whole wave in the opposite direction now. And maybe you started to see that here today, because GameStop sold off at $150 per share. And you saw a lot of other stocks that had squeezes. They were shooting up in the morning. They sold off almost completely, some of the names. And you saw some weakness. Very importantly, I want to focus this now on the overall market, because when all of those short squeezes started to kind of pull back, you saw the whole market start to pull back. And this is what some people, including myself, are kind of concerned with here, because if all this speculation and gambling and this mania that's happening, and let's call it what it is, spreads to the rest of the market and just generally causes some fear and panic amongst the bigger whales of the market with billions and really even trillions that are out there in the stock market, they kind of get worried and start to think that this is not a good environment to be investing in. You could see a pretty broad sell-off. Now again, I am not a fortune teller. I can only play what I see in front of me and what I think is going to do well in the medium to long term. So I'm not going to call it top, but you have to definitely look at this. And if you're participating in this, I gotta say, if you're not taking profits, I really don't know what you're doing, because this is just straight up gambling, because you don't know when the fuel is gonna be used up, right? Sure, GameStop was shorted 138%, even Rocket or Fubo is shorted 30, 40, 50, 60%, but exactly how much more there is to go, I don't know, but it's gonna run out. So man, that's just my whole take on it. Just wanted to put it out there, because again, I'm seeing this even in some financial YouTuber, in the financial YouTube community. I'm seeing people that just think stocks only go up, and buy these penny stocks, it's gonna go up today. Buy these penny stocks, it's gonna go up tomorrow. Buy these penny stocks, it's gonna go up next week. Top 5 penny stocks, like every day there's like 5 different other penny stocks that are gonna go up 1,000% or something like that. And this is the same mentality with these short squeezes too. And I honestly don't think it's gonna end well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was pretty much a rant and a dose of what I think is reality and realism, and what I'm kind of thinking about this subject. So hopefully the market doesn't completely go nuts and breaks on us, but we'll see. Until next time, my friends, stay well and please invest responsibly. Thanks.